He didn't look like a monster. He didn't act like one either. He was charming, educated, polite. And that's exactly how he got away with it, for years. This is the story of how one man manipulated trust, exploited kindness, and shattered families across America. This is the story of Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. From the very start, there was secrecy. For years, he was told that his mother was his sister and his grandparents were his parents. His biological father's identity was uncertain. That early confusion and instability would later be discussed endlessly by psychologists trying to understand him. When his mother later married and moved the family to Washington state, Bundy grew up appearing normal. He was intelligent, observant, quiet. Some described him as shy. Others said he could be charming when he wanted to be. He attended the University of Washington, studying psychology. He volunteered on a crisis hotline. He worked in politics. He dated. On the surface, he was building a promising life. In college, Bundy became involved with a woman often referred to as Stephanie Brooks, a pseudonym used publicly to protect privacy. She was from a wealthy California family, sophisticated, ambitious, polished. She eventually ended the relationship, reportedly believing he lacked direction and ambition. Many investigators later speculated that this rejection deeply affected him. While no single event creates a killer, this breakup became part of the narrative surrounding his psychological development. In 1974, young women began disappearing in Washington state. Many were last seen near campuses. Several witnesses described a friendly, well-spoken man asking for help, sometimes pretending to have an injury and requesting assistance carrying books to his car. And one detail kept appearing: a light-colored Volkswagen Beetle. The women often had similar features, long hair parted in the middle. Police would later identify a pattern. Witnesses recalled a man introducing himself as Ted. Soon, the name Ted began surfacing in tips to police. Bundy was questioned once but not arrested. He appeared cooperative, calm, intelligent. He didn't look like what people expected a killer to look like. By late 1974 and 1975, similar disappearances occurred in Utah. Bundy had relocated there. In 1975, he was pulled over by police in Utah. Suspicious items were found in his car. He was arrested for kidnapping. He was convicted in 1976. But that was only the beginning. Bundy was extradited to Colorado to face murder charges. While acting as his own attorney in court, he was allowed access to the law library. In June 1977, he jumped from a courthouse window and briefly escaped into the mountains before being recaptured. Months later, in December 1977, he escaped again, this time from jail, after losing weight and slipping through a hole in the ceiling of his cell. He boarded a plane. In January 1978, Bundy broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University. This crime shocked the nation. He was eventually arrested again after being stopped by police while driving a stolen vehicle. This time, there would be no escape. Bundy's Florida trial became one of the first heavily televised trials in American history. He often represented himself. He smiled at cameras. He proposed marriage in court to a former girlfriend, Carolyn Boone. The media coverage was intense. Some people were disturbingly fascinated by him. But behind the headlines were grieving families. He was convicted and sentenced to death. While on death row, Bundy gave interviews, including one with James Dobson, where he discussed violence and media influences. Over time, Bundy confessed to multiple murders across several states. The true number remains uncertain, but he admitted to at least 30. Investigators believe the number may be higher. On January 24, 1989, Ted Bundy was executed in Florida. Crowds gathered outside the prison, a disturbing reminder of how spectacle can overshadow tragedy. But what truly matters are the victims. Young women with futures. Students. Daughters. Friends. Lives stolen. Bundy's case changed how law enforcement shared information across state lines. It reshaped public perception of what a monster looks like. Because sometimes, evil doesn't look frightening. Sometimes, it smiles. And that is the most chilling part of all. If you appreciate respectful, in-depth true crime storytelling, subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a case. Your support helps this channel continue researching, producing, and telling these stories responsibly.